Carbohydrates.org. I am here to answer a controversial question, the list. They say all the experts out there, or the majority of the experts in food and nutrition out there, will tell you you need carbohydrates. You cannot survive without carbohydrates because especially your brain needs glucose. And I say you don't. If that was true, and I'm the case of one, but there are many out there, I would not be alive talking with you right now, today. Why? Because I chose for the next 10 days, and I've done this before, not to have any plant foods in my diet. Zero carb diet for 10 days, carnivore. Why? Because I know my body, your body, all human body can survive in the absence of plants, because carbohydrates as a fuel source are only required if we rely on them exclusively. Let me explain. Our body can use three sources of fuel: glucose, glucose, fatty acids, and ketone bodies. Now, here is an example so you understand this concept. Imagine that you are making a fire and you have three available fuel sources: hay, wood logs, and coal. To start the fire, what will you use? Most likely, most people, when I ask them this question, they tell me I will use hay. It makes sense. Why? Because it catches fire super easy. You put the match on hay, flame is on, you have the fire. Will you rely on hay to maintain the fire for hours and hours, to warm up your house and to cook food? And everybody says, oh no. Why not? Because it's time consuming, you have to be there all the time, it burns too fast, and you require a lot of hay to maintain fire to heat up a house. And I say, you are right, so why will you use? Oh, I will use wood and coal, and wood burns into coal, so therefore then you have a fire that goes on for a long time. You can go do other things, you don't have to sit there next to the fire to feed that fire all the time. Guess what, guys? That's what happens in our body. Our body can use glucose or hay, which catches fire really fast. It's quick burned source of energy. It can use wood or fatty acids, and it can use ketone bodies, or the byproduct of burning fatty acids, coal, right? So hay is glucose, wood is fatty acids, and coal is ketone bodies. So why, when it comes to our fire, our human body fire that we have to maintain, so we have energy to do things all day long, to run around, to do our jobs, to be moms, to be entrepreneurs, etc., etc., we rely on hay. When if it's about a fire, we say, oh no, I use wood. Why? When it comes to your body, you choose to believe that you need to feed yourself every 2 to 3 hours. Yeah, because if you really rely on hay, right, on glucose, you will be hungry every 2 to 3 hours. You will crash. You're not accessing the fuel that is long burning, fatty acids, and then what the byproduct of that is ketone bodies. And here's the catch. Yes, the brain requires glucose, but yes, the brain can also use and actually thrives on ketone bodies. The brain cannot use fatty acids. Your muscle, your heart can use fatty acids, but not your brain. And body is so intelligently designed, guys. When we burn fatty acids, we produce ketone bodies, which cross the blood-brain barrier, get to your brain, and your brain has sustainable energy all the time. For your brain, it doesn't really matter if it's glucose or ketone bodies in terms of how it perceives the fuel, if it sends you signals that you are running low on fuel. But if only glucose is available as a source of fuel, when that glucose levels dips in your blood, your brain, as the most sensitive sensory organ to regards to energy and fuel availability, will give you emergency signals that you need fuel. And that is hangry, you know, shaky inside, sweaty, headachy, blur vision, all those things. And you have to get fuel. And most people, what do they get as fuel again? They will go for carbs, for hay again. Why? Because we've been taught that way for a long time. But you know what? You don't have to stay there. You don't have to. If you've been doing this for a long time, you've been eating this high carb diet, whole grains and legumes and fruits, and it's not working, you're crashing, you can't lose weight, you have no energy, you are inflamed, you are in pain, drop the carbs, see what happens. Look at me, I'm alive. In fact, I just did a hardcore exercise with 0 carbs. All I've been eating for the last 4 days and even before was just meat. No eggs, no dairy, nothing but flesh. Lamb and beef and chicken and pork. And guess what? With 0 carb intake, my body produces glucose upon demand. If I have to run, my body, my liver will produce just enough much glucose the brain and the muscle needs for a sprint, like a little bit of hay, and for the rest of the body energy's demand, I will be burning fat and ketone bodies. And here I am, full of energy, healthy, and sharing with you a message that can change your life just as much as it did mine. So if this intrigues you and you have more questions about it, I'll be happy to talk with you about. Friday, I'll be at Lucky's for my local people. Doing a health fair. I will have a booth with my tables, and I will be speaking at Lucky's on June 2nd, I believe it's a Sunday, where I'll be talking more about the lines of, do we need glucose? Do we need to eat carbohydrates? How a ketogenic diet / carnivore can help you take charge of your health. Remember, there are many experts out there. You are the expert on your own body, and you have the right to experiment with your body and see what works, how your body functions the best. What does your body need to heal and thrive? Thank you so much. I'll see you in my next video. Message me if you want to learn more about all this, how we can work together. Bye.